Definitely rodents in here. This is what I wake up to every morning, even after sweeping the entire floor the night before. You wake up and you find these little shreddings all over the place. I've already swept most of this area, so I did sweep up some of the shreddings, but it looks like I missed a couple, and I keep having to sweep this place every day. And even when I sweep it every day, there are signs that rodents are running around in here. You can also hear them, and they leave, their little calling cards all over the surface of the stove, on the floor, etc. So today is Saturday, May, 25th. My plans for the weekend radically changed, and I was going to travel out of state, and now I'm not. So I am focusing on domestic issues instead of international travel, meaning outside of state lines. And what we have right now is a rodent infestation in this unit. I don't keep food anywhere. The place is fairly neat, has a lot of stuff, but it's not food or dry goods. Bottled water, papers, magazines, Tupperware. I mean, I'm not sure what the mice are finding in this unit. I don't even have food in the cabinets. I have china and more china, mugs. So whatever it is that they're looking for in here, they're not going to find it, much like the psycho creep sex offenders in this building. Whatever it is that they're hoping to get from me, they're not going to get it. Maybe they should stick to their own kind. And same thing with the rodents. I mean, whatever they're in here for, they're not going to find it, at least not in terms of food. They do chew on cardboard, so maybe that's what they're chewing and shredding. But I've sent at least 3 emails to the Greenville group about the rodent infestation in this unit and in other parts of the floor. The mice are not limited to this unit. They're also in the common bathrooms and in the rear stairwell. If you stand in the rear stairwell quietly for a few minutes, you notice signs of rodents because they're all over in the building, because the Greenville group do not engage in effective, regular pest control. They don't engage in regular, effective maintenance of anything in this building. And that's why the Inspectional Services Department keep filing violation after violation after violation, at least in this unit. I'm not sure about the rest of the building. We just had 2 violations issued to the Greenville group for code violations in this unit issued to the Greenville group between February 19th, 2025, which was 2.5 months ago, and May 11th, 2025, which was 2 weeks ago. It's embarrassing for the Greenville group, but because they're criminal Russian slumlords, they don't care. They don't respond to emails about rodents. They don't respond to emails about leaks under the sink. And the problem is that the leak under the sink, there's been a slow leak under the sink for years. They have failed to fix it. And the water is literally seeping underneath the wooden cabinet, and it's damaging these tiles right here. I mean, these tiles are literally placed on soft, spongy wood, and they're cracking, and you get these little pieces of tile that start coming up, as you can see right here. So, yeah, that's what I'm focusing on today, since my travel plans for the weekend were canceled, not because of anything bad. It was because a family member who was sick actually got better, so I don't need to go see them since they got better, and another family member visited them in the meantime. So my job is done. I didn't have to do anything so far. Maybe I'll go later this week. In the meantime, the Greenville group refused to respond to notices of bad conditions, leaks, rodent infestations, problems with the usability and safety of the tap water that is constantly preventing me from being able to do what I need to do with it when I need to do it. I keep having to literally run the water because the water has a gritty, tacky, gluey feel, or suddenly has some kind of a additive to it that burns your skin that's not bleach. And I literally have to run it. Sometimes I have to run it for 20 minutes because there's an ingredient or an additive to this water, only to this tap and to this unit, not to the water in the bathroom down the hall, that causes sudden, intense skin burning that then requires you to go down the hall to the common bathroom and rinse off your hand from the water that you just rinsed your hand off with from this tap, if that makes any sense. When you're dealing with criminal Russian slumlords, a lot of what you have to describe doesn't make sense because they're extremely convoluted and sneaky in what they do. So it's intermittent, it's not constant. But as you can see, there's barely any water coming out of this tap right now, even though the knob is maximum. Yeah, there's actually more water coming out of my bathroom tap than there is out of this tap, as usual. There's some kind of a throttling or curtailing of the flow of water to this tap. That does not happen in the bathroom down the hall. It does not happen to my bathroom tap because I barely ever use that tap, so nobody's trying to mess with it. They only try to mess with the tap that I have to use on a regular basis to engage in household cleaning, cooking, water bottle filling, hand washing, etc. Not an accident. Jasmine Irizarry, the Greenville Group's criminal sex offender, psychopath, quote, fixer, bragged on social media in multiple written comments that she is affecting the water to this tap by putting boogers in it. She said she's not using a saddle valve, implying that she's using something else to contaminate the water and that I should enjoy the boogers that she's putting in my shower water. That was on a video that I made about how the water to my shower suddenly stinks really nasty as I am rinsing out shampoo and conditioner from my clean hair. And nothing should smell like vomit or whatever it is that she's putting in the water. When I'm 20 minutes into a shower, I'm completely clean and the water suddenly starts to stink like vomit. Irizarry itself, that fat pedophile, sex offender, career criminal, psycho trash, admitted to contaminating the water to the unit. This unit, when I made several videos about how she's contaminating the water to this unit. That was just a theory, but then she started making comments in writing, bragging about how that's what she's doing. So then, she made my case for me, basically. Stupid criminals, all of them. Irizarry is being paid by Oleg Elisayev, the property manager, to engage in constant, psychotic, obsessive stalking and harassment that is surveillance-based, that the Greenville Group have bragged that Jasmine Irizarry is an expert in using, and they seem to think that that sort of thing is perfectly legal. It's not. Not even if the law enforcement has okayed it. You can't use surveillance devices in someone's private bathroom for any legitimate reason, regardless of what reason you're coming up with to legitimize the use of surveillance in a private living space. Yeah. There's nothing that anybody does in the privacy of their bathroom that law enforcement could possibly need to know about. I'm not a drug mule, and I'm not sticking a bunch of condoms filled with crack cocaine up my butt. Sorry, folks, I don't do stuff like that. So if you're hoping to find anything dirty or weird about what I do in this unit, you're not going to find it. I'm very boring. I'm so boring that I bore myself, actually, which is why I make these videos. That and to document the fact that the Greenville Group are criminal Russian slumlords who never respond to emails, voicemails, or any type of legitimate notification about bad conditions. And the result is that there's rodents in this unit running around that are also in the hallways, in the common bathrooms, in the stairwells. And I keep having to sweep this place every day. And the sweeping doesn't really do anything because a few hours later, there's these little shreddings again. And you can hear the mice running around under the bed or behind they love that corner behind the stove and refrigerator for some reason. They're either in the stove or in the refrigerator, but there's no food here, right? The only food that I have is in the fridge. This is all Tupperware containers, cleaning products. So I really don't know what the mice are doing, but they're here and the Greenville Group are allowing this to continue because they're negligent, and that's nothing new either.